Radhe Radhe! Here we go, another blog entry. This blog entry has a lot going on, so I'll try and break it down in different pieces as we move through it, just to make it a bit clearer. Alright, so blog entry 144 from 10/24 of 24. This morning, Krishna's effulgence came to rest in my heart, and to prepare the space for Krishna to dwell there. Honestly, this could have happened sooner if I hadn't been running around spending time in ways that weren't so beneficial. When he first entered my heart space, I asked him what name he would like, and he settled on the name Blue. After he entered, he began to expand, growing in all directions, like a great tree spreading upward and outward all throughout my heart. I thought this process would take a long time, but in only 2 or 3 hours of meditation, the space was fully prepared. Now, the reminder is clear. I need to use my time and focus wisely. For now, I'll simply live and let things settle in and allow this new presence to take root. So this is the purification Krishna had been talking about, and making space in the heart for him to be there more. And he did come, and he had been there a lot more after that, for sure. The running around, not spending my time as efficiently, it was always moving around in the van from one spot to the next and not really settling in and just really sitting and meditating for a really, really long time. Still just too busy, too nervous, too new, too distracted. So that's what I was talking about as it having taken longer. And plus, while these things are going on, there's other things still going on that can be distracting. Even though you're in Orange and even though you're there, there's always challenges that come up to learn from. We're never really done with those while we're here on Earth. They just change in what style of lesson they are and what we're meant to learn and how we're meant to grow, depending on our karma and the choices we're making on our journey. So here's the next part of this blog entry. And just in case someone ever reads this who is on a similar journey, I'll share something from yesterday. 2 days ago, I felt pulled by Krishna to visit a temple. I had been feeling down, weighed by the challenges of everything so far. While there, I met a kind young pundit who seemed to understand. He asked if I was a Hare Krishna or Radhe Radhe. It was really nice of him. Something most people never ask. And then when he heard I was living in a van, new to Orange, and struggling to connect with anyone after a month and a half, his heart softened, and he asked if I had food and immediately started gathering some food to give to me. He also said I could come practice music at the temple in the mornings when things were quiet, which felt like a blessing. So what I was looking for here was I didn't really have anywhere to make music. There was one other temple that would let me make some music, but I couldn't really make music outside in parks and things like that because it was raining and wet and starting to get cold like every day in the rainy season, yeah. So I decided to go back to this temple the next day during the morning, the morning time when it was quieter. So the next day I felt pulled to return and practice music, but this time a different pundit was there, along with another man who gave his name a roll, and that man wasn't kind. His questions carried suspicion as if he thought I was some rascal there for mischief. Without much explanation, he basically escorted me off the property. More out of fear from the past experiences I guess they had with others than anything I had done specifically. As I stood there before the Vishnu deity during darshan while I was in the temple, though, I felt an inner voice say, they will change their minds. I don't know exactly what that means, whether it's a lesson for me or simply another experience I needed on this path. Either way, I see now that I have no control. Things unfold as they are meant to. The point is, things like this will happen for 1,000 reasons and 1,000 lessons, especially when you're trying your hardest to trust and grow. The moments are part of the journey. We all face them, and each one carries something we're meant to learn. And so, again, I think it's really important to not look at your spiritual path as a linear process. And when I say linear, meaning step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, because everybody's path is different, and that's a big thing to really think about. So yours is going to be different than others. There'll be certain similarities here and there in experiences that you may have that will be that can be some similar, but even those experiences will still have a different feeling, or they'll just be different in some way for you and your journey. And as we're on our journey, and as these lessons come and they unfold, and as we grow and we do our best to keep kind of moving forward, again, it's really important to be patient with ourselves and to be patient with the journey, and to know that ultimately everyone is still pushed to grow. For a long time, I sort of had a Western culture, like Christian kind of thought about growing up in a household that it's like a giant recliner in the sky. Like, you just get comfortable and you don't have to do anything, and it's one trip through. When you're done, and you do the best you can. But the reality of it is, growth is part of existence, right? So growth is eternal, as our souls exist eternally. So we're always going to be growing. Growing here in Kali Yuga on Earth at this time is so pressurized and so intense, but you can actually grow so much more because of those reasons. Like, the bar is lowered, like the devotional bar. And just as an example, Krishna is only asking for us to give our free time and love him during our free time, during Kali Yuga, because it's such a dense, heavy time on Earth. But in the previous yugas, when it was more peaceful and more loving and more God, you had to do so much more to accomplish the same level of growth that we can accomplish now by just focusing on God in our free time. And that's when we're not making food for kids, when we're not grocery shopping, when we're not working, when we're not paying bills, when we're not mowing the yard, when we're not doing laundry. No, that's not your free time. Your free time might be 3 minutes in the morning when you wake up before your feet hit the floor and you take off out the door, or 3 minutes in the afternoon or in the evening right before you go to sleep. So that's only like 6 minutes a day. If that's your free time, and you successfully give 6 minutes a day of just thinking about Radha and Krishna and giving them love, you'll excel like you can't even believe. But that's because of it being Kali Yuga and the bar being lowered so that we can love God and grow towards God. And you can really feel it if you explore that and you just work on filling your free time with thinking about God, and not like TV or Netflix or things like that as much. First, just try a little and you'll feel it. It makes a difference. Yeah, it makes a big difference. All right, well, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And Radhe, 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 Radhe. Radhe, 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 Radhe.